All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Orange Crush Podcast, instant reaction type of thing. We don't really want to call it a podcast since this is probably going to be only 5-ish minutes. But guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode. It's late at night. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning here at Spectrum Center.
I don't even know what day it is. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It could be Monday. I don't know. I don't know.
They blend in together. But anyways, Clemson is Selection Sunday bound now. No longer in the ACC Championship running. It's going to be Louisville and Duke tomorrow night. And now Clemson will await its destiny in March Madness. And I think from the locker room tone, it was disappointment. But David, at the same time, it felt like it was a group that, yes, this is going to hurt. But there is something to look forward to. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
What they have to figure out how to do, what really struck me tonight, and I wrote this in a story, they needed big minutes and they needed big time play from Chauncey Wiggins, Jake Heidebreeder, and Dell Jones with the absence of Dylan Hunter, right? They didn't have that. You get to 3 minutes left in the game, and that trio had combined for 4 points. And you could see Brad Brownell stalking down the sidelines. He turned to his assistant coaches and go, "What do we run? Who have I got? Who can I turn to?" Like there were no answers there. So now, yes, you turn your attention to Selection Sunday, but in the meantime, you got to figure out how to survive without Dylan Hunter and get some of these other guys to play better. Combined 51 minutes between those three. 11 points, 7 from Chauncey Wiggins, all those late.
You're going to need more production out of it. And I think Dylan Hunter, not only did he bring such a presence offensively, efficiency-wise, not necessarily going to bring you 12 points a night on every given basis, but it provided an extra bump in this depth. And now you're going to have to require the Chauncey Wiggins of the world, the Jake Heidebreeders. You're going to need somebody to step up. And I think in March, we've always seen unlikely heroes step up in this manner. And now Clemson's going to need that and more. The tread on the tires of the Chase Hunters, the Ian Shefflins, the Jane Zacharies. That only gets you so far. The more complete team that we saw from Clemson, it's sort of gone back to bite them in a sense. They got away with it last night, but I think in this instance against Louisville, they just got punched in the face once again, and we're going to see how they respond. Another week off, potentially, before they get back onto the court, and could be Seattle, Denver, wherever the heck it may be. It's going to be interesting to find out.
Oh, it's going to be fun to find out. And I think, what they have to do, too, is figure out Victor Locken. He is such a force inside. And tonight, silly fouls at times. There was one time when, he came over the top of a guy's head with an elbow, and he got called for the foul, and he was like, "I didn't foul him." He was like, "Yeah, you really did." Keeping him on the court is going to be key. Keeping Ian Shefflin on the court going to be key. Ian not in foul trouble tonight. Chase Hunter kind of got in a little bit of foul trouble with a couple of just silly fouls. And again, that's why this team just completely out of sync, out of sorts out there. And it took them a while to find that group. And it's interesting. So with 3:50 left in the game, they go down 67-52. It's the largest lead of the game for Louisville. And you're like, well, this is over. But turning up that defensive intensity, turning Louisville over, they found a spark. How can they use that now next week to keep some momentum?
You really need to find that piece of film and really paste it everywhere in the walls of Littlejohn and say, this is the type of thing we need. Defensive intensity has always translated into good offense for Brownell, especially in transition, where you maybe create a turnover or pressure in the half court, and boom, you got an open shot down there. It makes it easier on your senior players who just need an extra basket. I think no one needs an extra basket more than Chauncey Wiggins. That has to get set up. That has to get rolling. But something you did mention, that 4-minute spark. We talked to Chase, all the players really in the locker room, about that process, and they said, that's something we can use. We just have to find a way to turn that 4 minutes into 40 minutes. And so we'll see how that turns out.
And I'll tell you another thing. With Clemson, with Louisville and the way that they've been played the past couple nights, here's your stat for the night. Clemson, first of all, called for 18 fouls in the second half. Whistled for 4 in the first half, 18 in the second half. So there you go. That's part of it. Clemson was 13 of 28 on layups. That means shots around the rim, not good. They only took 10 3-pointers. They were 4 of 10. That's great. You hit, 40% of your 3-pointers. That's great. The shots around the rim just have to get better. Now, as part of that, the physicality that we've seen the past couple of nights, absolutely. But this team, it looked really bad, and then it looked really good for that span. Then you have the no call over there with TV Teddy. He's just gonna swallow the whistle and do his thing, and you can't blame it on that because you can't go 6 minutes without scoring. You can't get all of that, non-contribution from some of your bench guys. and expect to go win in the tournament. But there's pieces there that give you hope.
There's pieces there that can give you hope, and that's really all we can rest on. Is you and I will be live in Little John. Hopefully, I believe that's how it's going to play out for Selection Sunday. We'll figure out the who, the where, the what, the when, the how, the why, all the good stuff that comes with March Madness, and just one of the greatest tournaments in sports, if not the greatest, some would say. But guys, thank you as always for tuning into the Orange Crush podcast. Shout out to the guy behind us picking up the trash and doing his duty for that.
There were no fights behind us tonight.
That's right.
Did have a woman lose her phone. That was big.
That was big. Big stuff here that we're reporting here at TigerNet.com that you can't get anywhere else. But guys, thank you as always. Shout out to Herb Tyler for continuing to sponsor the show. We were talking about sort of
sweet tea, Herb.
Yes,
Sweet tea.
Some sweet tea would be great. Some Diet Coke too. Big Diet Coke guy over here. Sponsors Diet Coke. But guys, thank you as always. Subscribe for more. God bless y'all. Travel safe if you came from Charlotte, and take care.